Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcajani here. Today we're going to be talking about oxalates. Are oxalates impacting your health? Kind of talk about how I deal with this in clinic with patients and what to look for and what you can do about it. So before we dive in, please smash that like button. Really helps the search algorithm. And again, love to see your comments down below on the topic. Love to respond to you as well. All right, so what are oxalates? Oxalates are organic acids that are found in mostly plants and vegetables. And these organic acids, I kind of put them in the category of anti-nutrients. So they're plant-based compounds. And for some people, they can be stressors. They can be a driver of kidney stones. They can wedge themselves in the joints and the soft tissue and create lots of joint issues. It can create vulvodynia, which is massive vaginal pain issues as well. So there's a lot of problems with it, kidney stones as well. And it can also be a byproduct increased by candida and yeast. And so when we look at oxalates, oxalates may be an issue, it may not be, right? And so one of the big things I look at is, do we have weird, unusual joint pain issues, vaginal pain issues, kidney stone issues? Definitely kidney stone issues. We're going to work on restricting oxalates. We'll cut them out. I mean, oxalates, the biggest foods you're going to see them in is mostly leafy greens, which are healthy foods. So spinach are going to be really high in oxalates. That's going to be like a big one here. So spinach is going to be a big one. Almonds, soy, potatoes, beets, legumes, even some fruits like raspberry and dates. Again, they're going to impact absorption. They're going to impact calcium absorption. They're going to increase risk of kidney stones. They can disrupt bacteria in the gut. Now, when we have oxalate issues, I just tell patients, like, look at the top 5 foods that you're eating that are on the high oxalate list. Try to cut those foods out, number 1. Number 2, cooking foods, steaming foods, breaking foods down by cooking will actually decrease the oxalates in the food. It'll never take a high oxalate food and make it low, but it'll take maybe a high one and make it more medium. Or it'll take a medium one and make it more low. So a couple things you can do is you can just start cooking and steaming and sauteing your food. That's going to help a lot. And then number 2, just look at the big 5 that you're consuming. If you're doing lots of spinach, you're doing spinach smoothies, cut those things out. That's an easy thing out of the gates. And then we have to look at internal oxalates. So we'll actually run organic acid testing where we'll look at oxalates in the urine. We'll see what your oxalate levels look like. And that'll give me a really good indication of what your levels are and what we can do about it. And so a lot of times I'll see oxalates go elevated when there's lots of candida. So we'll see tartaric acid, we'll see diarrhea, which is a sign that there's candida present. And sometimes the oxalic acid or the oxalates can be elevated due to the candida, not because of the food. Now, that being said, if we have lots of kidney stone issues or joint pain or weird pains, we'll still cut the food down, 80% or so, but we have to look at addressing the candida. We have to look at addressing the yeast. Now, a lot of times you'll miss this on a typical stool test, even a genetic stool test like the GI map. So we'll run an organic acid test where we look at D-arabinose or D-arabinitol, and we'll look at tartaric acid. And they'll also run oxalates or glycolates or other kinds of oxalates with it. And if we see it elevated with candida, which we do, I'd say 90% of the time, we're going to definitely work on knocking down the candida. That's a big one out of the gates. We'll also do things that displace some of those stones. We'll do calcium, or we'll do magnesium and potassium are big ones. Now, those are great because most people are deficient in those nutrients. So adding some of those things in are really helpful. We'll look at testing for candida and other gut issues because bacterial issues can also be a problem. We'll look at displacing them. We'll use a set of herbs called Shanka Piedra, which is an herbal tincture that has different types of herbs to kind of displace and break down stones. That can be excellent. And we'll also try to really get lots of good hydration, lots of good water in there. The solution to pollution is dilution. Again, a lot of people come at it. They're like, oh, well, just cut out oxalates in my diet. It's like, well, it's a lot of healthy foods that are very high in oxalates. So you have to look at it and run a risk-reward analysis. Is it really the food? How much is the food? So my first logical approach is, all right, well, are you eating lots of spinach, lots of super high oxalate foods? Let's just try to sub maybe the spinach for the kale, right? Choose a green that's still helpful, but we'll choose a lower oxalate green vegetable. Maybe we avoid all the raw. We start cooking foods better, sauteing it, steaming it, putting it in an Instapot. Maybe we start adding in potassium, magnesium. And then if we actually have stone issues, we know we have kidney or gallbladder stones, then we'll throw in that Shanka Piedra herbal tincture to really help kind of knock it off over the fence and get some good benefits and results. So I hope that helps, guys. Again, this is what I see clinically. And I don't really jump on the oxalate bandwagon unless there's some clinical presentation that tells me to go there, because there's a lot of healthy foods there. And with patients, we're already making a lot of diet and lifestyle changes, and cutting out oxalates can be another additional element to make the diet harder to follow, more strict. So we really want to dial everything and kind of do the most with the least and work our way up. And so if we have those kind of symptoms or presentation, that's where we may dive in a lot deeper. And if you guys want to dive in deeper with myself, or you have health issues where you want me to look from a functional medicine lens at your health history and your situation and talk about what your next steps could be, there'll be links down below where you can schedule with my team directly down below, guys, worldwide. All right, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, let me know. Thumbs up, comments down below. Appreciate it, y'all. Have an awesome day. Take care.